love is a path under pressure, walking in obedience. When it costs you. When love stops being your feeling and becomes your next decision. You do not need another reminder that love matters. You already know. What you need is a way to choose love when the day squeezes you, when your head feels full, and when your instinct says, handle the urgent thing first. Then I will circle back and be kind. 2 John 1:6 lands right there. It refuses to let love stay theoretical. It pushes love into your next email, your next meeting, your next reply, your next moment of silence. And this is love, that we walk in obedience to His commands. As you have heard from the beginning, His command is that you walk in love. 2 John 1:6, NIV. John ties love to direction. Love is not a badge. Love is not a vibe. Love is a steady series of choices that match what Jesus asked for, especially when you would rather choose speed, control, or self-protection. Love is not a label you wear. It is a path you walk when it costs you. The quiet drift. When pressure makes people feel like obstacles, pressure narrows your view. It pulls your attention toward tasks, numbers, risk, and the next problem that needs an answer. If you are not careful, people start to feel like friction. Their questions feel like delays. Their emotions feel like messes you do not have time to clean up. Most leaders do not plan that drift. It happens in inches. You stop asking how someone is really doing because you want to stay efficient. You skip the follow-up because you feel behind. You speak in clipped sentences because you are tired. Eventually, your team learns a version of you that is always in a rush, always scanning for problems, always bracing for impact. Here is the hidden cost. When love drains out, you may still hit goals, but you lose the very sign Jesus said would mark His people. Not your polish, not your platform, not your productivity, your love. So let the verse turn into a simple gut check. In this season, are you navigating by the commands of Jesus or by the pressure in your chest? Cash flow, pressure, and the temptation to lead without love. Cash flow pressure does not just test your budget. It tests your heart. When the margin gets thin, fear starts offering helpful advice. Tighten your grip. Cut people off. Make the fastest move. Assume the worst. Protect yourself first. Now put that in the setting most leaders know too well. The late-night office. The building is quiet. The screen glow feels harsh. You refresh the numbers again and again, as if staring longer will change them. Your shoulders creep up. Your patience runs low. You tell yourself you cannot afford mistakes, and you definitely cannot afford drama. Then a message comes in from someone on your team. It is not a crisis. It is a real question from a real human who is trying to do good work. But tonight, it lands wrong, because you are carrying too much. This is where obedience becomes practical. You are not only managing cash, you are choosing your route. You can let fear hold the wheel, or you can follow Jesus into a better kind of leadership. The kind that stays steady and kind, even when you do not feel steady or kind. Late-night office test. The words you choose when you are tired. This is where today's navigation metaphor earns its keep. When visibility drops, you do not steer by emotion. You steer by the instrument you trust. When pressure clouds your judgment, you return to what is fixed and true. 2 John 1:6 functions like that. It does not offer a motivational poster. It gives you a reliable heading. Walk in love by obeying what Jesus commanded. That means you pause before you respond. You read the message twice. You ask one honest question before you type. what would love sound like right now? You might still set a boundary. Love sets boundaries. You might still say no. Love says no without shaming. You might still correct. Love corrects without crushing. In a late-night office moment, love can look like a calm sentence instead of a sharp one, a clarifying question instead of an accusation, a phone call tomorrow instead of a frustrated reply tonight. Here is a new emotional angle many leaders carry quietly: shame. After you snap, you replay it. You promise yourself you will do better. Then you do it again a week later. And you start to wonder if you are just a hypocrite with a Bible verse. John's words help you step out of that spiral. Love is not proven by never failing. Love is proven by returning to the path quickly when you drift. Repentance is not a dramatic speech. It is a humble turn. So, if you have been short lately, repair it with simple language. I was harsh. I am sorry. Will you forgive me? That sentence can reset a relationship, and it can reset your own soul. Love as witness. What the world learns. When believers stay kind, Jesus tied love to recognition. People would know his disciples by how they treat each other. That is not sentimental. That is diagnostic. When believers choose love across real differences, it becomes visible proof that grace is not a concept. It is power. Think about what the world expects. Teams fracture fast. Friendships end over one comment. People treat disagreement like a personal attack. In that environment, steady love looks shocking. It looks like someone living under a different authority. And here is the part that should sober us and encourage us at the same time. Your coworkers, your clients, your community, and your family are learning what Jesus is like by watching how you treat his people. When you speak with contempt about another believer, you are teaching a lesson. When you refuse to forgive, you are teaching a lesson. When you show patient honor in a tense moment, you are also teaching a lesson. You do not have to be perfect to be a witness, but you do have to be real. Love and truth. Together. Obedience that protects without hardening. 2 John carries a protective tone because not everything that sounds spiritual leads people toward Jesus. John wants believers anchored in truth, and he wants them anchored in love. He will not let one replace the other. That matters because leaders face moments that require clarity. You will have to address harmful behavior. You will have to confront gossip. You will have to name what is out of bounds. You will have to say, "We are not doing that here," even if it costs you approval. But obedience-shaped love keeps you from turning truth into a blade. It keeps correction from becoming personal revenge. It keeps your leadership from developing a sharp edge that cuts everyone who gets close. Love can be firm and still be clean. Love can be clear and still be kind. A helpful practice is to check your inner motive before you speak. Are you trying to help them move forward, or are you trying to win? If you are trying to help, your words will carry weight without carrying cruelty. A simple daily practice that connects faith and work without splitting your life. If you want this to stick, make it repeatable. A walk is built from small steps taken in the same direction. Decide your heading before the day gets loud. In the morning, choose one person you will treat with intentional care. Choose one conversation where you will slow down and listen. Choose one situation where you will refuse sarcasm, even if it would feel satisfying. Then, when cash flow pressure hits, do not disappear. Communicate early. Speak plainly. Keep dignity intact. Ask for wise counsel instead of stewing alone at midnight. Bring it into your relationships with other believers too. Reach out to the one you have avoided. Send the message you have delayed. Pray for the person who irritates you, not as a performance, but because you genuinely want God to bless them. You are not trying to earn God's love by doing these things. You are learning to live from the love you have already received. So carry one question into your next decision. In this moment, what would it look like to follow Jesus' command to love in a way the other person can actually feel? Choose the next step that looks like love, even if it costs you something.